Hey folks, this is Kalani. The Creation Catalyst is finally going to be available. On April 12th, the Catalyst will turn on for the first time, allowing every single player to create their own tier gear, so you no longer have to rely on RNG. We can specifically target and create the tier gear we need to finish off those shiny 4-set bonuses. A few things have changed with the Catalyst since we first learned about it, including new gear options to use for your tier upgrade, so now every type of player can upgrade their gear, even if you only play through solo content. Let's take a closer look at the Catalyst, how it all works, and I'll throw some tips and tricks for maximizing your weekly charges. Before we jump in, be sure to hit up that like button and subscribe so you never miss another video. When you first log in after the weekly reset, you should be able to pick up a quest from the Enlightened Broker Rep vendor called the Catalyst Awakens. This is how you'll know that the Catalyst is active. The quest just has you popping over to the Creation Catalyst, which is located in the Catalyst Gardens, and that's about it. You don't have to pick up and complete this quest to use the Catalyst, but the free Cosmic Flux is nice, and it will show you exactly where to go so you can't get lost. Now, to get up to the Catalyst, you can just fly up there. If you've already unlocked flying, that's probably the fastest way to get up there, but if you don't have flying unlocked yet, there is a teleport located right underneath the Catalyst in the middle of the water. It's the big glowing cloud thing. Step into that and you'll be teleported up to the Catalyst. The Creation Catalyst, in essence, is incredibly simple. You throw in a piece of gear, spend some Cosmic Flux, and the Catalyst will change your gear into a tier set piece. When you put gear in, the Catalyst will show you exactly what result you can expect, so always double check your result to make sure you're getting what you want, and that's pretty much it. When you upgrade gear with the Catalyst, the item level will stay the same, so if you put in a 259 chest piece, you will get a 259 tier chest piece. The Catalyst also carries over any upgrade paths, so if you put in Mythic Plus gear, you'll also be able to upgrade the resulting tier piece with Valor points as if it was just a normal Mythic Plus piece of gear. The same thing goes for PvP. This is going to be very important depending on your individual goals. The Catalyst also keeps any tertiary stats like Leech or Speed and carries those over, and it does the same thing with sockets. A few key factors do change though. The secondary stats might change because the resulting items are fixed. If you put in 10 different chest pieces that all have different secondary stats, the resulting tier chest piece from the Catalyst will always be the same, with the exact same secondary stats no matter what you do. There is no RNG here whatsoever. You will always get the same piece with the same results for the same gear slot. The other thing that changes is the appearance of your gear. The Creation Catalyst will give you tier gear with your tier set transmog for every piece you put in, so this is also going to be another way to collect that transmog if you don't raid. To use the Creation Catalyst, you will need 3 things. The first is a Creation Catalyst charge. This is literally just a waiting game. When the Catalyst first opens, you'll have 1 charge. You can upgrade 1 item per charge you have. You will get 1 charge per week, which means you can upgrade 1 new item per week as we go forward, and then the charges will get faster and faster. The charges do accumulate, so you don't have to use them right away. You can save them up for as long as you want or need to. The next thing you're going to need is a piece of gear that will actually work in the Catalyst. It is rather picky with what kind of gear it will accept and upgrade, so you can't throw any old piece of junk in here and get a tier piece. The types of gear that can be upgraded include Season 3 gear from the Sepulchre of the First One's raid, Mythic and Mythic Plus dungeons, rated PvP, the World Boss Antros, and the Sandworn Relic gear purchasable from the vendor Rafik. This gives pretty much everyone an obtainable type of gear to upgrade. If the Catalyst will not accept the gear you're trying to put into it, then it doesn't fall under these categories and cannot be used for the Catalyst upgrade. Each upgrade is also going to cost you a good chunk of the Cosmic Flux currency depending on what slot of gear you are upgrading. Braces and cloaks will cost 600, belts and boots will cost 800, gloves and shoulders will cost 1200, and then chests, helms and legs will cost 1500. Note that while you can upgrade all of these different slots in the Creation Catalyst, you will only get the set bonus or tier bonus on the same slots that drop with it naturally, those pieces being head, shoulders, chest, hands and legs. Upgrading the other pieces of gear can be useful for changing stats or unlocking the matching transmog, so it's not entirely worthless, but I would definitely focus on getting your actual set pieces and bonus unlocked first. If you don't have enough Cosmic Flux, you can earn it from a wide variety of activities at endgame, mainly in Zereth Mortis, killing rares, doing quests, completing the weekly, opening treasures, the usual stuff in Zereth Mortis. You also get Flux from the raid, from Mythic Plus dungeons, and pretty much any endgame activity in WoW right now, so you have plenty of options for farming it to use in the Catalyst. Okay, so we have everything we need to use the Creation Catalyst. We got a charge, we got some gear that'll work, and we've got some Cosmic Flux. But what's the best way to go about this? Well, that's probably going to depend on what kind of player you are, what types of content you take part in, and how many tier pieces you already have. The main goal here is to get our 4-set bonus, right? That's the big power spike for the majority of classes. So upgrade the items you don't have. Pretty simple, really, except for when you don't have any items at all. I think you're going to have to make a choice here. If you don't have any items in your set, are you willing to do extra activities to try and get some? Will you step into the raid, even on LFR, to try and secure a piece or two? Will you get some dungeons done to try and get upgradable gear and a chance at tier gear in your weekly box? If not, your path is incredibly straightforward. Collect the Sandworn Relic gear, that's the highest item level gear you can reliably work towards that can also be upgraded via the Catalyst and is available from strictly solo play only. You'll need to farm Sandworn Relics and trade them in at the vendor over in Pilgrim's Grace. You can work from cheapest to most expensive if you want to get your set as quickly as possible, and then just wait for enough charges. Something else you can do as a solo player is to make sure you kill the world boss every week. While the world boss is a complete RNG fest, there are some pieces of gear which can be very useful depending on your armor class. For example, the world boss drops cloth head and legs, leather chest and boots, mail wrists and belts, and plate head and chest. So some classes can get 2 tier set slots from the world boss, while others can only get 1 or none at all. The world boss drops item level 259 gear, which is a significant bump above the Sandworn Relic gear. It's arguably easier to obtain, you just need to get lucky, but it's not going to work for everyone. If you do plan on farming the world boss for a chance at loot to turn into tier gear, maybe work on the Sandworn Relic gear that does not share the same slot as what you can get from the world boss. So if you can get plate, head and chest, for example, buy the head and chest Sandworn Relic gear last, so if you get lucky with the world boss, you have all of the pieces that you need. Apart from that, you really don't have many other options without resorting to group content. If you take part in more content, you have more options for upgrading gear, and you actually maybe got a chance at getting the tier gear naturally, so you don't have to waste a catalyst charge on that slot. As a quick note, every tier piece is now available in LFR mode. All of the tier bosses can now be queued into and killed for a chance at tier, so even if you don't want to jump into normal or heroic, you can still go for that LFR tier gear. It might not be the highest item level, but it will help you complete your set faster. When it comes to what kind of gear you should use in the Catalyst, personally, I think the most valuable types of gear are rated PvP gear and Mythic Plus gear. Both of these types will give you a piece of tier gear that you can upgrade using the appropriate currency. So even if you only have an item level 252 chest, that can still be upgraded to higher item levels if you use Mythic Plus or PvP gear to obtain it. If you compare that with raid gear, for example, you can change a 252 raid piece into a 252 tier piece, but that piece will never get more powerful. It's stuck at item level 252, meaning you would have to use another charge later on a higher item level chest piece or get the actual piece of tier gear at a higher item level. It's just way more efficient long term for Mythic Plus and PvP gear, which is really interesting. On the flip side, if you're a high-end player running over plus 15 keys and working your way through the raid on Mythic, you have some other options to consider. When opening your weekly box, remember to look for high item level tier slot pieces, even if it's not actually tier gear. You can turn 278 gear into tier gear and get the equivalent of Mythic raiding tier gear. That's pretty huge. And then if you're someone who is pushing the very cutting edge of raiding, there are still some uses for the Catalyst, even if you have your full tier set already. If you look at the last 3 bosses, they drop item level 285 gear, the highest you can get from any PvE content. Only 2 tier pieces are covered in that item level bracket, shoulders and chest. That means the highest tier legs, head and hands you can get from the raid is 278. But if the last 3 bosses have a leg, head or hands piece for your class at item level 285, you can then use that piece in the Catalyst and get item level 285 tier gear, which is otherwise completely completely unobtainable for those slots. So the Catalyst has uses for everyone, and it's going to let you work towards your tier set in a variety of different ways and potentially create a tier set that is vastly more powerful than what you otherwise would have been able to get. This is also going to be wonderful for alts because the charges will accumulate for you even if that character isn't max level. So if you get a new character to max in a few weeks time, you can walk into Zereth Mortis with enough charges to create an entire gear set right away and start your adventures with your 4 set bonus. That is going to be pretty cool. And then if you want to absolutely min-max every possible factor here, I would actually suggest you wait to use your Catalyst charges. I know that sounds dumb and completely anti-fun, but hear me out. You want to equip your 4 set as soon as possible, right? Well, we're only starting with 1 charge, so we can only create 1 piece of gear this week. If that piece does not complete your set, as in you don't already have 3 pieces of tier, then you cannot finish your set with a Catalyst alone. This is kind of hedging your bets. You can use the charge on whatever you want. I'm not going to stop you, you do you. It's your charge, it's your WoW sub, your WoW character. But if you're doing content that can drop tier gear, whether that's clearing the raid on any difficulty or filling up your weekly box, if you have a chance to get tier gear this week, you should wait until after you've expended those chances to use the Catalyst. What if you make a chest tier piece in the Catalyst and then you go into raid and get the chest tier piece drop? Well, you could have used the Catalyst charge on any other slot and increased your overall tier collection. The same goes for the weekly chest. What if you make your tier chest right now and you get the chest as an option in your next weekly box? What I'm saying is, if you are running content that can yield or reward tier gear, I would wait to use the Creation Catalyst until you have enough charges to complete your 4 set in one go. That's if you want your 4 set as quickly as possible. If you want doing group content at all, completely ignore this, focus on the world boss and Sandworn relics and upgrade whatever you want. Now, I'm not saying you have to do this, and I'm not even saying you should do this, but it is an option and it's probably the most efficient way of going about it. But that is everything you need to know about the Creation Catalyst, how it works, and how to take advantage of it. Is there anything in this system that you still don't understand? Do you think the Creation Catalyst should have been made available sooner? Leave all your thoughts in the comment section below. A big thank you to all of our supporters over on Patreon and to everyone who subscribed on Twitch. You can see the names floating by on screen. If you want to see more videos like this, make sure to subscribe and ring that notification bell so you never miss another video. Thanks for watching, folks. Good luck and have fun, and as always, I will see you next time.